Hey everyone, I hope you're excited because you are listening to the first episode of Somya Talks. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to tune in to my episode, and let's just get right into it. So I want this to be kind of an introduction, and I'll talk a little bit about my visions for this podcast and what I want to get out of it, but also what I want other people to get out of it as well. I've had a lot of exciting things I want to cover, and there's a growing list of topics accumulating, and new ideas just keep coming to me. As much as I want to take credit for this idea to start a podcast, I can't. One of my amazing friends, Ellie, proposed this idea to me when I came to her after having a little breakdown. So, this breakdown, similarly to many other quote unquote breakdowns that I have, was the result of something small happening that just happened to overflow the beaker of many small things that have been accumulating, if that makes sense. It did, though, involve a continual stream of tears, followed by a nosebleed that also refused to stop. Really cute, I know. Essentially, I didn't realize how many things were going on in my head and around me that I was compartmentalizing and that were actually really affecting me. So, if you don't already know, I'm a sophomore in college and I go to Salisbury University. I made the decision to move back home from school after only a week. By the end of that first week of classes, I knew about 20 or so people who had gotten corona. Some who I saw days before they were diagnosed, going into people's apartments. Also, I knew some people personally who hadn't reported their positive COVID test to the school, meaning the school didn't have the right percentage of new cases. This became more of a risk than I anticipated, and I decided to come home. Fortunately enough, all my classes could be online, and I had the option to even be home. Being home when I hadn't planned to have been has been relatively good, but referring back to my breakdown, I think I haven't been facing my mental challenges through this transition back home. Along with feeling very grateful for the option of being home and healthy and safe and in an environment where I can focus on school, it has also been really isolating. As much as I love my family and have a great relationship with them, side note, I think I will be making an episode about family dynamics in the future, so stay tuned. It's, of course, not the same when I could have been at school and having complete independence and privacy and access to seeing friends in person. So while I've been at this kind of stagnant place where there's really no end in sight of how long I'll be home or if I'll ever be able to go study abroad during college, I definitely have been searching for a kind of outlet. So, I am making this podcast mostly for myself because there are not many people to talk to around here. And I mean, there's a constant dialogue going on in my head at all times. So, might as well talk to myself and record that dialogue, right? And if a few people are interested in what I have to say and keep coming back, well, that would be amazing. And I am so excited for that possibility. Lastly, I think I want to put out a podcast every 2 weeks. Yeah. I think that's doable timeline. If not, I can always adjust that. I mean, this is my podcast. And I hope you'll come along this journey with me while I dive into all kinds of topics from humanities issues to current events, mental health, relationship dynamics, spirituality, and more. And maybe we can learn something from each other through this. So if you're listening, have any ideas for topics you'd like me to talk about, please do not hesitate to reach out. I love to hear your thoughts. My email is in my bio. And thank you so much for tuning in to my first episode. I hope you'll join me for more. Mwah.